Hi, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to Better Than Brunch.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I have a theme song,
Yay.
and I encourage you all to sing along with me.
Okay.
I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Got to let it show. And that's for Kamala. Kamala.
Yay!
We're so happy and proud of her. And yeah, and Joe is great too.
I lip synced because I'm not going to burden any of you with my singing voice.
Wasn't really sure what direction you were going in.
I wasn't sure where Better Than Brunch was going to drop into it, if there was going to be
Yeah.
a pun, so I just danced along.
No,
Yeah.
sorry. That's all I got.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna do like a positive song or if you were about to get into like the "you about to lose your job."
Oh, damn. Missed opportunity.
I'm just
Sorry,
saying.
guys.
you
I
know?
dropped the ball.
That's
Next
okay.
episode could be a remix.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah.
I like it.
We don't know what's gonna happen next episode, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, it's Sunday. It's almost the end of the year finally. Do you feel it? Do you feel that 2020 is finally coming to a close?
It's so crazy.
I'll believe it when it happens.
I feel it in my bones and in my soul, but yeah, like Denise said, I'll believe it when it happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having lighting issues. I'm back.
I feel like we all need a vacation from 2020.
Where
Yeah.
would you go?
We can't go nowhere.
I know, but if you could, where would you go?
Ireland.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Fun.
I think I would go. I mean, the hard part is it's like, do you want to go somewhere new or do you want to go somewhere you've been before that brings you comfort? Like Hawaii has always been that place for me that I've gone there a lot of times, but I love it every single time. It just feels like the second you get off of a plane, like it just kind of washes all of the stress from your shoulders. But I also really, really want to go to like Edinburgh for some reason. I don't know why.
I've never been, but I also want to go.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do a writing retreat there.
In a castle.
Yes. Sure.
I think that also needs to be a segment for this show, is like the outlandish places that we plan to go for a writing retreat that will never
I love it.
happen.
I love
It
it.
might happen.
It's happening. Even if I'm there by
It will
myself,
happen.
because nobody comes with me. It's happening.
Okay.
I
They
would go to an
will
imaginary place that is a cabin in the mountains in the middle of winter, but there is a hot tub outside and I don't have to go anywhere.
Fully stocked pantry.
Fully stocked pantry and also a machine that will cook things for me.
Oh,
Very nice.
Like a la Star Trek or the Jetsons or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very, very nice.
Okay. Where
And
would you
like
go, Cass?
constant snowplow. So you never have to worry about like ice
Yeah.
and
Yes.
stuff for driving. Where would I go? Maybe the Mediterranean, sit and soak up the sun. It's already cold and rainy and here right now. So I don't know. That'd be nice. Go to Sicily and
Oh.
check out some areas down south because I've been in some parts of Italy, but I haven't been down there yet. And that's where, a lot of my family's from. So it'd be nice.
Where in Italy have you been already?
Rome, and I spent one night in Milan. Just one, but I was there. I got to have breakfast in Milan, and I've been to to Pisa for about an hour and a half. We had a really weird couple of times going to Italy. My sister and I and my daughter and my friend, we took a train specifically to Pisa, got off, ran, and I don't run. And we ran to the Leaning Tower, took a picture, and then ran back to the train just so we could say that we were there. I was dripping and so hot. It was so hot. It was like the hottest Europe had been in a long time. This was not last year, but the year was it last year?
Oh,
Might have been last.
2018?
Yeah, it was hot.
It was terrible.
It was so hot, and we just were like dying, but it was worth it because we have the stereotypical hey. Yeah. Yeah, and then we were in Venice for about 3 hours when we were waiting for a plane. We do everything so stupid, but we but we were in we went to Firenze for a couple of days, Rome for a couple of days, and Jesolo, which is right on the coast, sort of by Venice, for a couple of days. And so those are the places. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
Yeah. But we should all go and eat lots of pasta and sit and get sunshine.
Okay, so I'm putting Italy on the list as well, where we're all going to write and get away.
love it.
Okay.
And aren't we going to Thailand too?
Yeah.
Right? To celebrate you and your 40th birthday?
My 40th. Winter
That's right.
22. Right before my book comes out.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to travel. People will allow Americans to travel again one day.
Day.
That'll be so
Maybe.
nice. Maybe.
There's the dream.
Right, right.
Let's talk
Speaking
about
of
some
dreams,
book news.
your dream is happening in a month. How do you feel,
That's 4 months
Denise?
now.
3 weeks. Very excited. Still don't have my author copies, so hanging out with this bound word copy.
Yay.
But yeah, it's exciting and terrifying and weird, and I'm kind of just rolling with it now because there's really nothing else that I can do. So trying to enjoy the ride. My son, I think I was telling you all, has a paper chain that we made that's spread out in our 3-season porch. And we wrote all the numbers from 1 to, I think we started at like 68 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so since he's learning all his numbers, he gets to tear it off every day and like practice the numbers. And so
You've got like an advent calendar for your book.
it is like an advent calendar for my book that he is tearing off that he will never be able to read. So yeah, that's exciting. I got some of my swag in. So for pre-orders, we'll get this cool sticker, this one, and then some folks will get this cool to-do list, like notepad, and then a few other kind of little things here and there. And one lucky person, probably Taj, is going to get this hot sauce that came with my stickers. So, because I don't do spice except in my books.
Oh.
So yeah, if folks are listening and you haven't pre-ordered a copy of How to Fill Up Flirting, you can do so from the Rip Bodice and get a signed copy, and it'll come with a sticker, and you can support an indie bookstore. So
Yay!
so pretty exciting.
Awesome.
I know that you've been doing all kinds of press and talking to people, and you've got a million questions about your book, but I'm going to give you a softball question.
Okay.
What was your favorite part? No, that's stupid. What reading back, like as a reader, would you say like, oh, that's definitely my favorite part of the book?
There's a few for me. One that I reread often, I don't know what this says about me, is actually a sex scene. But she's at his home and it's a long distance relationship, so it's the first time, and it gets a little hot and a little excited, and then there's sort of this emotional payoff after the physical payoff. And I just kind of love that scene because they're so comfortable with each other at that point, and it just, for me, when I reread it, feels very comfortable. And I just like that scene for just a variety of reasons, but I just really like that scene.
We like comfortable intimacy. I think that's always really good to read.
Yeah, for those who have read the book already, there was a second sex scene that was in that I cut, so maybe that'll come back in a newsletter or something.
Aww.
There are like 15 deleted love scenes from this book that are just sitting in my folder.
Nice.
Okay, that was not too hard a softball question. I appreciate it.
Has anyone ever written a book just purely deleted sex scenes? like a
I don't know
compilation?
about a novel, but there is a nonfiction book called The Good Parts that I found in my college library when I was a college junior. And it was just excerpts of sex scenes from books, but it wasn't about like romance books. It was just excerpts of sex scenes from kind of whatever books, like literary fiction or historical or whatever. But I have
Yeah.
always thought that would be cool to replicate as like a live event and just have people who are really good at writing sex scenes like come together and talk about the craft of it and the fun of it and the challenges of it and call it The Good Parts because that's a great title.
I know. That's true. All right. Somebody will come up with it.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun thing to do at a conference. You know how they have participation stuff? That'd be fun. As long as
Yeah.
you didn't have to read it out loud to everyone that you don't know. If you have an issue with reading out loud, then you could just pass it to somebody else and be like, read this for me.
Well, there is some event somewhere that does like regular author just sexy bits readings, I'm sure. And I couldn't do it. I mean, I've tried it and I felt really weird and cringy, but you know,
I think
the
I could. Again, I don't know what that says about me, but
I feel like
Confidence. It
you have
says
a good voice for it. I'm fucking goofy. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm button her dress.
lock it up. Well, maybe that will be a future episode of Better Than Brunch.
There you go.
There you
Better
go.
Than Brunch, The Good Parts. The intro music will be a real slow jam.
Yes.
Hey, baby. Pass the
I'm here
crystal.
for it.
Taj, I think you've got some book news that you'd like to share.
I do. My wonderful little story has been retitled.
Yay.
What originally started out a couple of years ago as Just As You Are, then switched to The Blueprint when we sold, and now it is Savvy Sheldon's Feeling Good as Hell. And I'm very, very excited about it. We've been confirmed for winter 22. I think we're going to be somewhere around February or March. And once I know those dates, I'll be sure to share. But I'm super, super excited. And actually, V cracked me up because when I got the green light to post the announcement, I posted it. And then I sent it to V so that she could see it and boost if she wanted to. And she messaged me back in my DMs and she's like, tag Lizzo, you coward. Because of course, like, you know, we like that's a nod to Lizzo, you know, like we want it to feel like the way that Lizzo makes you feel when she's singing her music. You want to feel really good about yourself. You want to just kind of go out and take the world like in a positive direction. And so then I went back to the thread and I like added a tweet and I'm like, P.S. Lizzo, I love you. Like, I'd love to work with you. Blah blah blah. And so V was like, yeah, you're so lame. But it was pretty on brand for me. So I think that made a lot of sense. But yeah.
I would be really scared to tag a famous artist too. I think.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, so the first interaction V and I ever had before I signed with her was on one of the Be My Love Interest days. And I happened to like post about this really, really hot guy because it was a Monsters edition. And I always post about the same guy. He plays Dyson on Lost Girl. And so she was like, oh yeah, like that's a really hot guy, like blah 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 whatever. And then she paid closer attention to what I had written, and she was like, you know, also I've got to tell you, like 10 out of 10 for being ballsy enough to actually tag him in your post. And I was like, well, you know, you got to shoot your shot sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that interaction actually had her go and look at her slush pile and she found my stuff. And I actually got a full request from her like the next day. So it was cool. That's where
shooting your shot in a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Very cool.
Congratulations. We've got a title. It might come out in February, March-ish, which is not too far away.
Not too far away, of 2022, and that'll be right after I turn 40 in January. So I will be living my best life right along with Savvy, my main
Love
character.
it. Love to see it.
Yay. So exciting.
So
we'll be
hopefully-
celebrating with you.
Yes, hopefully, we'll be traveling, and so my plan for my 40th was to go and spend a couple weeks in Thailand, where my mom was born.
Yes.
And so hopefully that comes to pass. But if
We
it has
will
to be late,
be
it's okay.
in Italy, Thailand, Hawaii. I think Chicago was thrown in there a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that's like the practical one.
Yeah, it is.
And don't forget my made-up cabin.
Your made-up
yes,
cabin.
it's a made-up cabin.
And we have to go to Sweden to see you.
Edinburgh.
And Sweden, yes.
I could meet you in Denmark or something.
It's just going to be a world tour. So these books need to start doing pretty well.
Netflix?
Come through Netflix. We also have news on the Pitch Wars front.
Yay.
Yay! You guys are first, Cherish and Denise, the team, the dynamic duo.
Yeah. So for Team Leo, we just got to meet our mentee right before we hopped onto this call, and she is amazing. And the book is called A Touch of Scandal by Regina Black, and it is like Shonda Rhimes needs to pick this up now. It is just wonderful, beautiful prose, and these fully formed, sexy characters, and like all this drama that just fits together. It's a complete page turner. It is beautiful, and we are so excited for everybody else to read it.
Oh my God, I'm so impatient for everybody else to read it. But I know that we gotta work on it and shit, and she's gotta get an agent and whatever. But I want everybody to read it now.
All the shit,
Yeah, the work and the labor or whatever.
But we're so excited. It's excellent.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Awesome.
And Taj, you got a mentee?
I do. My mentee's name is Kyla Zhao, and her book is this really artful mashup of Devil Wears Prada and Gossip Girl and Crazy Rich Asians. And it is so well done when it comes to combining those vibes together. Like the main character definitely gives you both Andy and Andy vibes, but also vibes from the Crazy Rich Asians character. And then you're getting the vibes from Gossip Girl, because there's something happening in the background and nobody knows. It's kind of mysteriously happening. But there's also this desire to climb the social ladder. And so you're seeing how that works out, and there's an end goal. But the Fraud Squad, it's so fun. It's a page turner. The twists kind of leave you guessing, and you're not really sure which way it's going to go. There is a romantic element, which is angsty and drove me crazy through the entire book, which is how I know it's good. And I'm really excited for people to be able to read this one. I think it's a page turner.
Yes.
So exciting. Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Thank you.
So
that's really exciting. And then, so you all have to write your edit letters, or is this something that you've already done or you're in the process of doing now?
Have to write
working on those right now. They should be getting those soon. I think Pitch Wars has a deadline for them to absolutely get them, and will probably be earlier than that, just so they don't freak out and they don't have to scramble to do stuff. Just create
we technically have till the 21st. But I think all of us are planning to, in this group, we're planning to do it this week at least.
Yeah,
we have ours mostly done. We just have to polish a few things.
Holidays
Awesome.
are coming up. People are just generally stressed out about the end of the year. Let's try to make it easier on folks.
Mm-hmm.
It
Definitely.
is sort of, it's interesting because I've critiqued a lot of books before, but it's interesting to write an edit letter having sort of freshly received an edit letter. And so it's like, how did my editor say this? How did my agent say this?
That's what I was hoping to have my edit letter for my book in time, but I'm just gonna kind of use the structure that I'd received from edit emails from V and just kind of go with it.
If you want, I could send you one of my old ones. Okay. Can do that.
That'll
But
be
yeah.
awesome. Your mentees are all very lucky. They're going to have a very good time with the
Thank
three of you.
It's gonna be a
Yeah.
lot of fun, I think.
We're
I think
just
so.
Yeah.
excited to help.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that was exciting me about this whole Pitch Wars process is just feeling like I'm giving back and, like, because I don't tend to have a lot of time, but, to at least have a structured program, I think it helps in trying to make sure I do that.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You all mentioned holidays, and one of the most tastiest holidays is coming up this month. And I know you're trying to get a tire Thanksgiving meal on over in Sweden. How is that going? Are you finding the ingredients that you need for it, Cherish?
I'm gonna get it together. Like the My American Market, which is a company based in France, they like send out all of these American products to Europe. So I've been ordering from them. I've got stuffing, I've got or dressing. If you're from the South and you say dressing. Um, I've got pumpkin pie filling in a can. I've got the tube of cran. What have we used this for?
Cranberry?
Cranberries?
Grace.
But we've used this
Oh, this
hand
was something.
That's tubular sausage.
tubular
Yes.
sausage. Okay, the cranberry tube, because no one likes that for some reason. I don't know. And I'm going to make macaroni. I'm gonna make mashed potatoes, or he's gonna make mashed potatoes because I can't. Um, Either a turkey or Cornish game hens, because
Oh, that's good.
we've never really been like a two person turkey family.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
that is a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
But it
Last year we
would.
just didn't do a turkey. I did a big ham for everybody that came over, and we called that good, I think.
Oh, I would love a ham. Yeah, I'll save that for Christmas.
What's your favorite part of the meal? Does everyone have a favorite dish or side dish?
Ooh. My
Macaroni and
dad's
cheese.
family has a stuffing recipe that's been passed down through the men, and which works for me because they always do all the work for it, but it is so good. And I could just, if I only had that to eat at Thanksgiving, I'd be happy. It's just be kind of sad because I don't know how to make it, and we won't be able to see my family for Thanksgiving this year. It'll just be my little family, but I'm the only one who would eat the stuffing, so it's probably okay. But that is by far my favorite thing, the leftover that I would eat until it is fully gone.
Yeah, yum.
I appreciate a good stuffing or dressing.
My mom makes a really yummy dressing where she adds like some really spicy like pork sausage to it and
Ooh.
mushrooms and things like that. But like combining that with the perfect bite of turkey, a little bit of cranberry sauce, a little bit of gravy. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I won't be with my family this year though. So I think I'm actually cooking at someone else's house, which will be interesting because I have no idea what we're gonna pick up from the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be interesting. I'm gonna be in Nashville, visiting
That's right.
Andrea
Yes.
Williams and her crew, and Lane Clark is also going to join us. So we're going to partially have a Thanksgiving writing retreat when we're not in a turkey food coma. There's gonna be
Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving. Like that's kind of been my tradition since I went to college. Just going, I used to always spend Thanksgiving with friends because traveling home, like both at Thanksgiving and then again at Christmas was a little too much. And so I would just go home for an extended time at Christmas and spend Thanksgiving with friends, or if I had a boyfriend at the time or whatever. And so like to me, like Thanksgiving feels like it makes the most sense when I'm doing a Friendsgiving.
You better eat some hot chicken for me if you're in Nashville.
Come on, you know.
Jealous.
Ooh.
Jealous.
I will say it is not a favorite, but it is now a tradition. And last year I asked my son what kind of pie he wanted. I said, oh, you could have sweet potato, or it could be a pecan or apple. Like, I want this to be exciting for you. What kind of pie do you want? He's like, I want fish pie. I was like, what's fish pie? He's like, you know. And then he wandered off. But so I asked him later, I was like, so you want apple pie or you want sweet potato pie? He's like, I want fish pie. And so I had like dug myself out this hole by saying like, this is really important. Like you get to decide what you love. So we bought these little pie tins and I made like vanilla pudding and bought like Swedish fish and M&Ms and some other candy.
Aww.
And so him and my nephew got to make fish pie.
Okay.
They got to like decorate it with all the Swedish fish and stuff.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. The kids loved it, but like all the M&Ms and the Swedish fish, like the color bled into the pudding. And so it just looked like these fish were decomposing in the pot. So fish pie is now a new tradition in our family.
Nice.
I like how he says, you know, like what I imagine
he's
to
a
be
sassy kid like that.
kind of threatening.
I mean, a little bit that.
Cass, you're more connected to English than we are. A fish pie.
They have fish pies, yeah.
Vastly different.
Yeah, you can typically order them at any pub that you go to. They're not sweet.
99% certain he did not want an actual fish pie.
No.
They're tasty. I've had one.
Yeah.
Like
What kind of fish what kind of fish do you serve in them?
I mean, so I have been watching a lot of Great British Bake Off lately. And so in some of the ones where it's a pastry week, right? They did one episode where Sandy went to all these pubs and learned about some of the history in London, and they were doing fish pies with eels.
Mm-hmm.
But they also will use like a white fish. And so it just depends. Can have kind of like a creamy base sauce, similar to like what you would have if you're doing like a chicken pot pie. It'll have like some vegetables, some, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. It's savory.
It's savory.
Yeah.
Cass, what are you having for Thanksgiving?
We're probably going to do a pretty big one, even though there won't be a ton of us, because Nico has not had a true Thanksgiving in 3 years. The year before she went to college, her dentist decided that she needed to get her wisdom teeth out the same week as Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So she was not eating at that Thanksgiving. And then the other two, like you were saying, Taj, it was just, we couldn't fly her back home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So she stayed on campus both years when she was in New York. So we're going to hook her up. And my mom makes a Southern dressing. She puts oysters and all types of stuff in it. So that'll be hers. And then Max makes an English stuffing with the pork, ground pork and hot and mushrooms and apples and all types of stuff. So we'll have the battle of the dressings / stuffings. Yeah. But we always do. I usually make mac and cheese and then turkey and mashed potatoes and all that fun stuff. So I think my sister's going to try and work from home the week of Thanksgiving, so that way she can come up here and be around my mom and dad, because she hasn't seen them or us since her birthday back in June, and she only lives an hour south of us. So it'll be really nice to just have her and her boyfriend and Nico and her, roommate and all of us together. So That'll be a fun time.
It
And all the
will.
kids. Yeah. I love cooking. Keaton's the turkey man now. He took over for us 2 years ago, and so now the kid wakes up and gets the turkey ready without us even helping. So
Wow,
Okay.
that's so
Love
That's a
that.
big job.
it is. It's so exciting to have a kid that loves to cook.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that's how my parents felt.
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
What I'm
you
hoping for, though the odds are not looking great.
Not if you gotta eat fish pie.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, some days chicken nuggets are a struggle. So
Well, Taj, you were recently cooking for your parents.
Yeah.
You made some lovely things for them.
I did. So my parents this weekend celebrated their 27th wedding anniversary. And normally they're big travelers. And so they would normally be gone the month of November to celebrate and to travel pretty much just around the world. And they couldn't, obviously, this year. And so, and they also couldn't go out to eat, which is one of my mom's favorite things to do, is try some restaurant or something. So I had them come over, and I pretty much like live in quarantine so that I can see them. But so I had them come over. I made them this big spread with like pork shoulder chops and baked potatoes, both sweet and regular, and then sauteed green beans and asparagus. And then I did homemade empanadas. Well, mostly homemade. I actually bought the crust this time because I didn't have time. And I actually ran out. But I have apple pie empanadas.
yum.
I just created an apple pie filling. And then I have sweet potato pie empanadas as well. The sweet potato pie ones, I will say, I think I overfilled them, and so you can see like some of it burst out, but it's still delicious.
They
But
look
you
so
bake
good.
them, so
Yeah,
you bake them, so it's safe.
yeah,
you know.
that's fine. And then it was supposed to be an S, but my mom said it just looked like a Harry Potter lightning bolt. Whatever. You can tell the
Thanks,
difference.
Mom.
Yeah. Like
It could be like your love was like a lightning strike or
right,
something.
which for
Call
them
it.
technically I think it really was. Like they met on a blind date, and within a month of them meeting, we were already getting set to plan their wedding because they married a year to the day they met.
Oh,
Aw.
wow.
It was like a lightning bolt, I guess.
Who can tell those stories any longer?
Right.
I love those kinds of like we met on a blind date. Who goes on blind dates anymore?
Who does? Well, in all honesty, like whose story is not like, oh, I finally swiped right on somebody. This is me being jaded because Bumble is a fucking mess right now.
Those stories have their merits as well, but
do.
it's a different generation.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, I'm always happy for the people that find someone, but at some point, and yes, this sounds jaded and cynical, but that's where I am now. Like, I think that I think those people are just all socially awkward. I'm just saying that. I don't actually think that.
I think you need a grizzled love story starring Taj.
Yes, I am the grizzled character.
I just came up with a really horrible idea.
What?
We could have like advertise on Twitter who wants to date Taj and bring them on the Better Than Brunch as like a dating show, and we all have to ask them questions. I said it was a horrible idea. It's a horrible idea, but it could be so much fun.
is this safe? He's gonna whip out his
Probably not. But I mean, like we could swipe right and like knock him out of the show if he was or if he sucked, and keep the ones that were good and just go down a list and be like, you win.
Oh my god.
I posted yesterday on Twitter about I went to the grocery store and a random man, at least he was wearing a mask and was over 6 feet apart, but excuse me, where did you get your pedicure? And I was so confused because I haven't gone to the salon since March. I literally threw on some polish on my way out the door the other day. I don't even know if I hit all my toes. And I was in flip-flops because it's 70 degrees and it was like 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
And excuse me, at home? He's like, oh, I'm just asking. I'm sorry if that's weird.
It is.
It is.
But I hire foot models. And so I would pay for your next pedicure if you'd want to do that. And it was just this like friendly conversation as if it was like, oh, where did you get that jar of pickles? Because I've been looking for that brand of pickles. And I was so floored. And those are the guys who would show up.
I think he wanted to share his jar of pickles with you.
I think he wanted something with me. But I was like, what about this interaction makes you think that would work?
I wasn't
wearing my wedding ring. I hadn't put it on yet because I'd like rolled out of bed and then ran to the grocery store to do this thing. But
he wasn't looking at your fingers.
I don't know why he was looking at my toes. These things are rough right now.
He is not a hand man.
Out and just so like, what?
I would feel a little violated as well.
But I'm like, is that your game? One, if that is your legitimate business, your business plan needs work. Like, if you really want to recruit somebody to be a foot model, there are a lot of other better outlets than the produce aisle at my bougie grocery store. Or
should you have asked for a card? Like,
no, I did not ask for a card.
But like, I want to know what this guy's business plan is. Does he have cards? Is this like legit? And I know it's not, but I kind of want to see like where this would have gone.
Does he have a casting couch?
Did it?
Yeah.
I mean, I said no, and then he's like, "Okay, I'll have a nice day," and he walked off to find him more pickles, I guess.
So
I mean, maybe his business card has a little footprint on it.
Just the big toe.
Like on dating apps, I've had people ask for pictures of my feet.
Yeah.
And I'm not kink shaming or business shaming if it was a legitimate business. I think it probably wasn't.
It's weird.
But I was like, why would you randomly ask somebody that?
Right.
Yeah, it's a but then I also don't know what is a good way to get discovered as a foot model though? Like, how do you broach this?
You post online and say like hashtag foot model.
Because you hear stories about like America's Next Top Model people who are like, oh, I got discovered at a mall.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what does that story look like?
To people anymore though? Like
America's Next.
I feel like any young person who's like, hey, a scout just recruited me at the mall.
Yeah.
Any parent should be intervening and be like, no.
Do kids are kids going to the mall?
That's a good question too, honestly.
I don't know. I think we're
really going to be a thing anymore.
I think we're proving a couple of things with this rolling dialogue is that we're getting old and that it's not a safe world.
Not a safe world.
We're very suspicious and we're getting old.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I will say this guy wore a mask and didn't turn around to ask me until he was at least, because we've passed in the aisle 6 feet, 8 feet away from me. So, I mean, maybe a creep, but at least a COVID safe creep.
And that's what we want.
Yeah. Like, for Cass's date plan, it would have to be a Zoom date because I'm not meeting people in person.
You go. It could work. You don't know the people on the dating apps, so it'd be sort of similar, and we could just X them out. Oh, you suck. Oh, nope, not you. And then it could work.
I have a feeling that we won't have anyone left when we're done swiping. But
yeah, well,
but the one, except for the one.
Well, I'm very critical though, and if I feel concern for my friend, I'm going to be super critical.
It'll be the Better Than Brunch Bachelorette.
Wow! The other 3 of us into this. Be a cast only
BTBB.
special.
Better Than Brunch Bachelorette. Oh, and you could make a new theme song for it. We could all have little paper roses. You could
Oh,
put like a emoji rose on the people that you want to keep on the show.
Cass, this is a terrible idea, and
I
it's
told you.
Really horrible idea.
Hey, I prefaced it with this is going to be a horrible idea, but I love it too.
I like the drama
Maybe
and
write it
intrigue.
into a book.
Yeah, well,
Maybe not a YA book or middle grade book, but
no,
we could even have episodes. Like, see.
Kaz, I know for damn sure that TLC has not run out of programming for you and me.
We're branching out. Like, right? Entrepreneurs. It's Better Than Brunch Bachelorette. Like,
We're not doing
so anyway.
we're not doing our friend Taj this way.
instead,
You
maybe
guys.
we should switch gears and talk about who our grizzled character of the week is.
Oh,
Ooh.
We've
Okay.
got, well, we're doing it different this time. I'm going with the occupation thesaurus. Taj, you're going with the,
Am I doing the rural or the urban setting thesaurus? 'Cause I have-
surprise me.
oh, that,
Tell me which one to get.
okay. All right, hold on.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because I'm
And if you are a first time viewer, welcome. You've made it this far. But the folks will give me a random character or trait, and I will build a quick pitch for a story around them. So today we'll have an occupation and a location.
Yes.
okay. I will give you the occupation first, and that might
Okay.
help Taj come up with urban or rural.
Ready.
Okay.
All right. Auto mechanic.
Ooh, yes. And then the setting is
Ooh.
they meet at the police station.
Ooh.
Okay. Denise,
Okay.
you're up.
Meet at the police station. It was not working out for auto mechanic. Name. I don't give them names. A plucky young auto mechanic whose father owned the business before her, taught him everything she knew. And in this small town, it's really the place to go. Now that her father is retired, she's fully taken over the business. And despite some early challenges with folks having negative perceptions of a woman who is an auto mechanic, has really taken this town by storm and really is just kind of living her best life, but is a little bit lonely as the single high-powered auto mechanic in this small town. Through a case of mistaken identity and overindulgence in tequila, ends up arrested on the suspicion of auto theft in the neighboring town. And the police officer who arrests her has had kind of a rough go of things. They got demoted. Their partner had a traumatic incident in this big city police department they were part of, and so now has moved to this small town that neighbors Auto Mechanics Town. And so this grizzled old police officer,
Hey.
here we go, is the one to arrest this auto mechanic who the whole town loves. And he's kind of grumpy and crusty, and she's kind of sunshiny. And then once she is cleared of charges, he tries to make it up to her, and she's having none of it. But then his car breaks down, and she is the one who can fix it, and in the process will fix his broken heart.
All
What?
right.
And
Joseph,
it will be called, I don't know what it'll be called. I was trying to think of a car pun, but I don't know enough about cars. It'll be called Spark Plug.
Start me up.
Start me up.
Ooh,
That's better.
there you go.
Okay. Wait,
So
did I mishear something? Is the car mechanic, the auto mechanic, she got involved in some tequila scandal?
no, okay, here's what happened. She was drunk out with some girlfriends in a neighboring town, and she saw a car that she had worked on tirelessly, and the owner was not taking care of it and doing the exact same thing she'd been trying to fix. And so in her drunken state tries to go fix this thing on this car because she worked on it so hard. And then it looks like she's trying to steal the car or hotwire the car. And then she's like, no, I'm trying to fix it. But she's really drunk. And then he's judgy and grumpy. And so he arrests her.
Okay. Gotcha.
And true love.
True love.
And
So there you go. You got a
will-
grizzled old police officer, which is a little bit more traditional than I normally go. Sunshiny auto mechanic. And yeah, they meet at the police station. Well, technically they meet outside the police station wherein she is hotwiring the car. But maybe it is near the police station.
I was gonna say, like, you should know that nobody's gonna steal a car outside the station.
Maybe she's real drunk. I don't know. I haven't written the book yet. This is just the pitch.
All right.
And it's called Start Me Up. So
Yes.
Brilliant.
Well done. Well done.
Very
Very
and then
good.
probably later
Very
on in the book they solve a murder together. Maybe. Just dropping that in. I don't know how it fits.
Is
Okay.
his name Joe too?
Yeah, he's Joe Top Badge.
Bad. Yes.
Top badge.
You gotta pronounce the B though, because otherwise it sounds like Joe Top Vag, which is a different,
I mean,
if not
that
maybe
could be
just-
real true love.
That's a different grizzled character that we could write later.
Yes.
True.
So that is my contribution.
Would that be an OBGYN? Joe Top.
Not bad.
A grizzled old gynecologist.
That would be
Not
amazing.
Joe Top
Yes,
Badge.
and we would find that person.
That's next week.
Give it to me. I got this. I can do two.
Badge.
Oh, top badge.
We meet him at a winery.
Mm.
Yeah, because Joe Top Vag was the top gynecologist in the city and fell from grace because his partner kind of threw him under the bus for something that they both had decided to do in their business. And so now he is working at a clinic in the other side of town and working with all kinds of patients who he wouldn't have otherwise worked with. And on one hand finds the work very satisfying, but also is making a lot less money. His friends have abandoned him, and Joe Top Vag is really, he's struggling. What was our location again?
Winery.
Yes.
Why-
So his sister is like, you know what, you are just having a rough go. Let's go away to this winery and just like taste some wine, and let's forget about your OBGYN partner who was horrible. He was like Joe Bottom Vag. And so Joe Top Vag and his sister go to this winery, and he's kind of a wine snob and is like giving kind of crap to the server sommelier person who gives it right back. And even though he has sort of fallen from grace, he still has a lot of his snobby ways. And so this server puts him in his place, and Joe Top Vag is like, I like that. And so he comes back again to do another like tasting and gets the same server. And so she really doesn't take any kind of guff from him. And then she takes a lot of guff from him. You know what I mean? So Joe Top Vag meets Alex, the sommelier, or the server at this winery, and then that ends up kind of being their place. And in the course of their love story, he has made the assumption that she or he wants to be somebody else and do something else. But the server is really like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is the environment I like being in, and this is what makes me happy. And then makes Joe Top Vag really look at what makes him happy about his work. And so they have this sort of reframing of success. and it's all through the vantage point of the winery. And so I think the title will be Tasting Menu.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Ooh, and will somebody like go into labor at the winery?
Yes. Or somebody will have a bad yeast infection. Like it could be a lot of different
The yeast infection.
emergency yeast infection at the winery. But yeah, labor would probably be more dramatic and uplifting.
Okay.
And
Is
then
there a
he
doctor
will
in the
go into
house?
action, and that is when the server will be like, wow, you're not just a snob, like you're actually a caring, compassionate, talented human being.
Right.
I'm gonna get with you.
Right.
And then they can have some wine after.
Ah.
Hey, and then yeah, so there's the second grizzled story, 2 for 1 today, since it's been a while since we did one.
I
Yay.
know. Okay, you really knocked it out of the park.
You did.
Got Joe Top Veg and Joe Top Veg. Yes.
I think how that first one sounded like a real book, and the second one sounded like a fever dream.
I mean,
But a fever dream that I'd like to wake up from.
Or sleep on.
oh my goodness.
So does that mean we are probably running low on our time?
Oh, but before we start to close, ladies, everybody smile for the camera. Thank you. Wonderful.
Every time we do that, I think, oh, I guess we could do that before we start recording. And then I forget. And then it's like, oh, it's time to smile now.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you everyone for tuning in for another episode of Better Than Brunch. It has been both informative and really funny this particular episode. I actually thought I was gonna like tear up at one point during the Joe Top Badge story. but yeah, if we depend, I'm not sure when we're taping again, but if we don't do it before the holiday, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. And we have a new president.
New president.
Yay.
And
It's a
new
celebration.
VP, Kamala. Yes.
Kamala.
Yes.
Everyone have a lovely, lovely next 2 months. That's all we have left of 2020.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then 2021 begins. And Denise, if we don't go back online before you're released, which way I think we should, but in case we can't, everyone right now, this is your last chance. Pre-order How to Fail at Flirting and order it afterwards. It'll make the most amazing holiday gift. Give it to your friend. Give it to your enemy. Just give it away.
Give it to creepers who offer to make you a foot model.
That's right.
Yeah.
But order from the Ripped Bodice because then you get it signed with a sticker. So make sure.
Yes, and do that by November 22nd is the date for that.
Yes.
Okay.
And make sure to turn in to our Better Than Brunch Bachelorette because it's going to happen.
Oh God, no.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, no.
Bye, everyone.